Now back to Cofield Company, live from the front yard inside Ellis Island on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
All right, let's bring in Tom Dienhart, covers Purdue, college football expert on Cofield and Company, as we follow up on the Barry Odom story. Willie, Cofield, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Tomorrow's a big day in West Lafayette. The introductory press conference for Barry Odom. So we'll get our first look at the new coach.
So give me the story out. Give me the story out there. Was this a surprise?
I don't think it was a total surprise. I think Barry checked a lot of boxes. I think the AD here, Mike Babinski, first of all, wanted a proven head coach. And, of course, Barry Odom's checks that box. I think his personality fits this school and this community. You guys know Barry, pretty blue-collar guy, meat and potatoes, simple, not pretentious. The one surprise was he's a defensive guy, and I thought Purdue would hire an offensive head coach. But I don't think Mike Babinski wanted to be boxed into offense or defense. He just wanted a good head coach, and I think he believes he has one, and we shall see.
Fan reaction is fickle in all these situations. Most of the fan reaction I saw today was kind of a disappointment. Who were they hoping to get?
Yeah, Purdue's not a sexy place to begin with. I don't think they're really going to get a big splashy hire. I don't know who the belle of the ball would have been for Purdue. Somebody like Matt Campbell at Iowa State. I mean, if they could have got somebody like that, I think people would have really been excited. Even a guy like Jason Candle at Toledo, who I don't think ever really got involved. Those type of guys. Maybe Mark Stoops at Kentucky. There was word that he reached out to Purdue at one point. He's trying to get out of Lexington. I think they were ready for a mutual divorce there after 12 years. Those type names, I think. And there's some other MAC coaches who didn't excite anybody. The guy at Miami of Ohio, Chuck Martin. The guy at Ohio, Tim Albin. The Army coach, Jeff Monk. And those are the kind of guys that really were involved here. I'll be honest with you. I think right out of the gate that Barry Odom was Mike Babinski's guy. And I think he had Barry in the bag for maybe upwards of a week.
Had you heard anyone else competing with Purdue to get Odom? Any other offers, any other interest?
And just all the phone calls and texts that I made this last week, it seemed to me that Barry would have at least been, maybe he was a legitimate target, but at least would have been a guy at West Virginia. The AD there, Ren Baker, knows Barry. They worked together at Missouri and Memphis. So people had connected those dots. And there was talk late, too, that Central Florida was interested in Barry. And maybe there was some dialogue there. So I think there was a market for Barry Odom. I have to think West Virginia for sure, maybe Central Florida, and obviously Purdue. So you guys saw what he did these last 2 years out there, 19 wins at a program that historically has really struggled.
When we saw the hire, there were so many people saying he's got a lot of work to do. Purdue, they're basing it off this past year, and I get that. But when you look back, this is a program that's had its ups and downs. But you just mentioned it with what he did in UNLV. Is it as difficult? Is it going to be something he can come right in and do? What type of program is he walking into?
It was a disaster. It was a disaster last year. And it's always an uphill climb here in West Lafayette. It's an 18-team Big Ten now, especially. So that makes the climb even steeper for a place like Purdue to have any relevancy, You got Oregon, Washington, Penn State, USC, Ohio State, Michigan. I mean, it's a steep hill here. It's a tough job. Not a lot of sex appeal here. And it's every bit as hard as UNLV, if not harder in some ways. So, yeah, he's got his work cut out for him here, Just to keep this place competitive, though, I think fans, it's not a real high-pressure job. They just don't want to be embarrassed. He was embarrassed last year time and again. Be competitive. Get to 6-6, get to 7-5. Maybe pop up every 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Have a special season. So, again, they don't expect the world here, but they at least want to be well represented and have a team that looks like it's been coached and is competent and competes every Saturday.
Jeff Brom did that 4 of the 6 years he was there. They go to a bowl game. Transfer portal has been a big thing. He's done a good job of bringing that. They actually, just a week ago, got rated top recruiting class in the conference out here. Is he going to – do you think he has a good chance of keeping some guys around, or do you think that there are some key components to Purdue headed out?
Yeah, they got 21 guys in the portal now, I think. And there's really 4 guys they have to keep. Only 3 of them jumped in the portal. Now, the 3 guys in the portal that they need to keep at least expressed they're willing to come back. Now they know the head coach. I think they want to know what the scheme's going to be and who some of the other players are going to be. So we'll see if Barry can keep those guys, get rid of those guys and keep them back in West Lafayette or not. And that's the big question. I'm sure Barry Odom obviously got answered to his satisfaction before he took the job was, what's the NIL situation here? What's the collective look like? Because it wasn't super robust for Ryan Walters. And as you guys know, I know UNLV didn't have a big war chest, I'm sure, but you have to have a pretty robust, competitive NIL situation if you want any chance to even be close to being competitive. It's as simple as that. And it sounds like maybe Purdue stepped up his game because it's going to need to if it wants to get any good players out of the portal, and certainly if it wants to keep its better players here in West Lafayette.
Tom Dienhart covers Purdue, has covered college football for a long time. He's up with Cofield and Company, as we're talking about Barry Odom leaving UNLV, going on to Purdue. When he looked around, what does he see in terms of a practice facility, how updated are locker rooms, what's the stadium look like, what's the possibility for getting people fired up to throw more money into the NIL? What kind of job is he walking into with the stuff around the team?
I think the facilities are more than adequate here. The stadium's in good shape. They we did the south end zone a couple of years ago. They put a tunnel in called the Tiller Tunnel. It's a nice stadium for a program like Purdue. They have a nice practice facility / offices / weight room that opened up in 2017, a good indoor facility as well. So long story short, it's fine. They just opened up a brand new dining court for athletes as well. So I think they can compete with facilities. I think they're good enough. Again, it's just a matter now if Purdue can be competitive in the NIL game, really. And just a lot of other questions here as this staff comes together. And that's really the big key is this staff, what's it going to look like? You know, everybody here, the message board crowds, everybody's talking about the offensive coordinator in UNLV, right? Brennan Marion. They all want that go-go offense in West Lafayette. They all want Brennan Marion to come. I don't know how close you guys are to the program there, but I kind of get the feeling maybe he's not coming.
Well, those are my thoughts, and I was on the Fan in Indy today, and I was explaining to that audience that I think Marion's due for a big upgrade. Could probably get a salary of 1.3 to 1.5 at one of these power programs. His offense is sexy. It got a lot of publicity from the video game in general, because I haven't seen a report on Odom's salary. Do we have any clue what Odom's salary is in the range, and then what the pool is for the assistants? Because he can't. There's probably 6 or 7 assistants that he'd want to bring along, and those guys are also really good coaches.
So you really think there's 6 or 7 guys he'd like to bring with him?
I think he would like 6 or 7, and I think they would be interested. Certainly, the special teams coach here under Odom was amazing. James Shebest, that is a must get.
What about the defensive coordinator, Shear?
Shear's his protege, so I'd be shocked unless UNLV came from out of nowhere and offered Shear the head coaching job at UNLV. I think he's there with Odom as well.
I think Cornell Ford's probably coming too.
Probably.
Now, my question is, why wouldn't they make Brennan Marion the interim head coach instead of Del Alexander?
Oh, well, I still think I think they're going to go through the interview process, and I appreciate you asking me the questions, but I think Marion's going to get an interview. I think there's so much uncertainty now. I think that they wanted someone who's absolutely stable and with the program for the game in, what is it now, like 9 days. So,
and you guys are playing December 18th, so it's not like the bowl game's that far away. And we'll see where your staff falls and the Purdue staff here. Like I said, we're interested and eager. Someone said we may learn the coordinators at Purdue tomorrow. We'll see if that's true. And, of course, we talked about the transfer portal. And the big question here, too, guys, is how many of the guys who signed with UNLV last week in that 25 class are going to flip and come to Purdue? That's a big question, too.
Yeah, I mean, I think I put out on Twitter yesterday. I know I put out on Twitter yesterday. I think it was 11 defensive players. I think they'd all have an interest, especially if Shear's along for the ride. Now, there's a very tumultuous time for UNLV in managing the portal, and I think that is part of the deal. I assume with Odom that he's going to try to bring a good amount of guys from this class and the last class.
Yeah, everybody was all jacked up about that because of what went on in Bloomington, Indiana with Coach Signetti. You know, he came from James Madison and brought about 10 guys with him. And that seems to be what everybody wants the new head coach to do is bring players with them. They know the system. They can ingrain the culture in the players and kind of coach people up, coach the players up and the coaches on around. So, yeah, that's something people hope happens. We'll see how many veterans from that roster leave. How many guys on the roster? Because when I looked up, guys, most of the all-conference players for you guys were seniors. They're gone.
There's a lot of good building blocks. I hate to break the news to the UNLV fan audience, but, this could be a rough time. I think the other thing they may get is a freshman of the year in the kicker, Caden Chittenton, who is tied to Odom's son and just had a top 5 in the country scoring here. So, again, as we talk this out, I'm delivering bad news to the Rebel audience.
Someone told me that kid man to be USC, that kicker.
He was offered a walk-on or a PWO from USC. Yeah, so he was highly touted.
For the year, right? And I know you have the defensive player of the year, Woodard. He's gone. The kid from Michigan State, White's gone. And like I said, there were a bunch of guys. I'm sure I need a couple of good freshman running backs. I'm sure there's some good young players. You just wonder how many guys that are veterans will transfer to Purdue too.
Hey, Tom, we're up against it. I appreciate the time. How about we message back and forth a little later tomorrow? Because, there's a lot to report.
Hang in there. Thanks for having me, guys.
See you, buddy.
Dollar Loan Center is a game changer this holiday season. So forget everything you've heard about short-term lending because DLC does it right. Dollar Loan Center offers signature loans up to $5,000 in minutes, and you don't need great credit or collateral. No checking account required, no application fees, and no prepayment penalties. It's easy to qualify, and you only pay interest for the time you have the loan out. If you have a payday or title loan now, you're gonna love the DLC. Our rates are normally half of the competition, and we guarantee to beat their rate. In fact, bring us your current loan contracts so we can help you consolidate and get more. Stop by one of our many locations, give us a call, or check us out at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed by the Data Financial Institutions Division. Loan qualifications, 3D loan qualifications. Visit us at don'tbebroke.com. Limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
All work and no play makes for one boring-ass week. Kick boredom to the curb with ice-cold beer, signature cocktails, and the best tavern food in town. Voted best happy hour in Las Vegas, there's no better place to be than PT's Taverns. See you for 50% off drinks during happy hour 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. daily. With over 65 locations, there's always a PT's Tavern near you. Visit ptstaverns.com to find your favorite neighborhood tavern.
Personal injury law has been the same for a long time. We've had enough. Welcome to Sam & Ash, the new standard for personal injury law, where things are done the right way. Because you deserve a team that delivers real support and results. When you have both, your whole world can change. So if you've been hurt in a crash, call Sam & Ash, 702-303-0333. Sam & Ash, because you deserve what's right.
Great cities are built on strong foundations. The skilled members of Laborers Local 872 never stop building. From the asphalt on our roads, the concrete in our buildings, the solar fields powering the economy, and everything in between to work safely. Laborers Local 872 is modernizing the Nevada workforce and building a global city. The future is union strong.
I'm Eli Manning.
And I'm Peyton Manning. We want to tell you about the Caesars Sportsbook Nevada app with Caesars Rewards.
You can instantly redeem your Caesars Reward credits for sports bets right on the app.
You can also use the Caesars Reward credits earned on the app for meals and experiences at 15 resorts across the state, including the Bacchanal Buffet at Caesars Palace.
Don't forget those tier credits. With your wagers on the Caesars Sportsbook Nevada app, you can unlock free parking and much more.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Cofield and Company, live from the front yard inside Ellis Island.
Yo, Juan Soto, listen up, man. This is your new home. Shut the up and don't complain. Look at this hole right across the street. Look at this dump. Road closed. You chose this piece of to be your home for the next 15 years because you're a money-hungry you. Every Yankee fan should burn you jersey.
Well, thanks, Griffin. I appreciate that. As a Yankee fan, yep. Angry Yankee fan outside of whatever they call New Shea Stadium. I don't bank with them. Showing the neighborhood around that stadium, which I thought was funny because unless the Bronx has changed a ton with the new stadium, it's not Queens and the 7 line. The area around the Yankee Stadium is not awesome. But yeah, Yankee fans are pissed off. We're going to talk to New York media member Jake Brown in just a couple minutes. But we got to follow up on that interview with Tom Dienhart, which turned into an interview of me.
That was great.
I thought we had him on, and he was going to wax poetic about Purdue and the opportunities there and the facilities and the upside. And he talked a lot about what a rough road it's going to be in the Big Ten.
He was rolling sound, and he's going to run it on his show.
Right. He covers the Big Ten. He knows the Purdue situation better than I do. I actually don't believe – I think it'll be a build for Odom, but I don't believe that the Big Ten is impossible to at least move into bowl contention territory. I think upper mobility to get to, let's say, the top half of the Big Ten is doable for Purdue. And while the fans would like higher goals, like 9 and 10 win seasons, that's not a bad place to be at 6 to 8 wins, making bowl games and be respectable. They were so bad the last couple of years, and they've been bad since Brom moved on. Now, we got news in about our neighbors to the north. While the Rebels have lost their head coach in Barry Odom, which is devastating, there's been a portal entry, and did Nevada's quarterback go in?
Yep, I'm pulling up his statement as we speak. Brendan Lewis, 53 minutes ago, tweeted in God's hands with a graphic. First, I want to thank God for the opportunities I've been blessed with. Truly grateful for my time in Nevada, the teammates, and the memories we've made. Although I am not completely closing the door on Nevada, I've decided to enter the transfer portal in order to explore options that put me in the best position to achieve my goals. So he must have been listening to the show earlier,
right?
Because this is what you've advised at this time, and you kind of alluded to it last year, that this is the way to go to explore options, but be able to return, because with NIL, bigger and bright, and not just that, but other schools who are losing players, it opens doors as well. So
you are listen, coaches can talk to you and reach out to you regardless. They're not going to follow the rules, but just kind of by college football legality, this puts you in a position to talk to people,
right?
And there isn't a player in the country who, one, believes that he's coveted, two, believes that he might be kicked off the team and told not for any other reason than we don't have room for you. Really, everyone in college football should go into the portal. And for fans, understand what it is. Don't get all butthurt. Like I said earlier, UNLV fans, getting after a couple of the players who went in the portal, cut it out. You don't understand what the portal is. And absolutely, Wolfpack fans, in no way should you get after Lewis. One, he carried your freaking team at times. He went through last year with Wilson, which sucked. He has every right to go into the portal, and Jeff Choate has to recruit him, and maybe they can pitch him some NIL. If not, we'll see what happens.
It's the beauty of
there is no such thing as loyalty anymore. None. Because it doesn't come from the schools and the coaches.
It's the beauty of the college athletics these days, because you, unlike pros, you can automatically become a free agent at the end of the season and turn around and go back to who you turned your back on in the first place.
He is an intriguing prospect. If his throwing can get better, he could be a really high-level quarterback. He made one good throw against UNLV on the deep shot, but he can really run, and he is a big guy, was highly recruited, so people know who he is.
Do you hear what I